So I notice most of the after rates have gone. Do you remember that was future payment? Or sorry, what was it, Nigel? A way to positively reinforce good behaviour, or something. So before we leave, we need you to give these back. Okay. I know who is here. And it's really important that every level of that's ticked on the little box, that we have feedback from every level, because that will be different. The impressions of the people with different levels of experience is very important. And I'm going to have some crazy Excel spreadsheet to work out, with Mike's help, what this, how can we learn from these sort of things. There is a whole blank page on the back of the sheet. You can write your thoughts. I'm going to share some of my thoughts from this week. It doesn't mean they're right. Maybe means they're wrong. But my sort of thoughts about this week and future training things, because we need to sort of co-develop these events. It can't be us saying what you should do. We need to work together to do the training and the capacity building. The idea is that the leadership team might have could be completely crazy, and therefore we shouldn't do them. We should change, and this is part of the TD, the theory of change process in the project. If it's not working, we should fix it. We should do something different. So, what do you think was the purpose of the training workshop? Why do we have these training workshops? Mike?
Think about it.
Oh, sorry. Forgot about that. What was the purpose of the training workshop?
I think one of the things to realize is the act of us coming together and sharing ideas and listening to things is very, very important. I mean, my original degree is a science degree, so I'm aware of the processes and methodologies involved, but it was fascinating to watch colleagues and see exactly what they were doing, and also go down to the actual labs and seeing the process of that. So the purpose of the training workshop was to make sure that we were aware of what other people were doing, sharing information, and also just understanding the scope of what this thing involves. I think from my point of view, it's really important that we appreciate that there are 5 criteria to be used for evaluating the program. It's not just water, it's this capacity stuff as well. So the purpose is actually quite fundamental. And when we're writing up the report at the end of it, these workshops are an integral part of that.
So that's your opinion. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So remember I said it was my thoughts. What I thought the purpose of the workshop was for was learning, networking, creating new ideas, developing collaborations. I kind of forgot that the learning isn't just me or somebody talking and the numbers. It's all of this other stuff that I tried to summarize about last year's workshop is super, super important. You know, how you felt about, I don't like these words as engineers, how you felt about the event is really important. So I don't mean that you need to write down your answers on the back of the sheet. I don't mean it like that. But these are some of the things that we need to start to think about. And Vanessa asked me yesterday, what have you done with Mike? I didn't. She put me on the spot. We do lots of stuff. We fight. We complain to each other. But most of that's about the project, and it's about this. The thing about TD is that disciplines will never agree, but that tension and that friction, it sparks new ideas. So we are going to think about. We should write down some of this stuff about how we do the TD. It shouldn't be a TD in work package 2 that's only in work package 2. We want to try and forget this idea of work packages. That's just how we report things. We want to be able to work across all of those different parts of the project So I'm going to share some things that I think we should think about. You don't have to think about them all now, but as you normally go home and sit on a plane or drive in the car, you'll begin to think about what happened this week, what was good, what was bad, what you liked, and we will follow up with some way to collect that information. It might be a survey online, it might be interviews. We'll try and work out a way that suits everybody to collect more information about what we've learned, which isn't maybe a number that starts at 1 and goes to 2. Okay. My thoughts from the week, hopefully everybody knows. We're now 2 years into the project, and Mike shared a little minute ago, this capacity, I didn't know, to be honest. I read the call, I know. We wrote the proposal, I know. I didn't know or appreciate the capacity and capability was so important. The funders at that point hadn't released how they were going to assess us. So we didn't know what they wanted. And when this stuff came in, I can tell you there was a very hot afternoon. I'm not an expert, I have no training. That's not, to be honest, was becoming more of an interest about developing capacity and capability. There's no postdoc on this work package that's responsible for reporting just as much as all of the technical stuff. So we've got to find a way to capture the learning, capture the information. And because we are so multidisciplinary, one of the things that I read about TD was that you need to set ground rules. If you have people from different disciplines in a room, you need people to sign up to pledge, if you want to think of it like that. I will listen, I will respect everybody's disciplines. We are all equal. It doesn't matter where you came from, what country, what area of academia, we're all equal and we're all here to learn together. And that apparently is very important, that you have respect for the other people's opinions, that their disciplines are important, and that we're encouraging people to listen. We have to measure, we have to think about this format. Is a big group like this an effective way to learn? I don't know. Maybe the little surveys that you're filling in will help us to work out, is it effective? And for something else, again, I listened. Who do you think we wanted to learn? Who do you think the organisers wanted to learn from the meeting? Do you think that we want the guys from the NGOs to learn? Did we want the masters or the PhD students, the postdocs or the professors? Who do you think the event was aimed at? What do you think? I guess the team imagined that it was for everyone, but maybe that's not so effective. Maybe we should think about specific events to train individual organisations. Maybe this event was of more value to USP than Ulster. I don't know. We need to think. We need to start to be clever. It's very difficult. This is not. It's just my ideas. Does anybody want to comment, or has anybody got? You don't have to speak. If you'd like to, that's great. But I think we need to talk about, as the consortium, we need to talk about these things because we want to create value. We need to spend the money wisely. It's a big project. I think it's the Ancient Mariner. Water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. It's like our project, 4.6 million. Whoa, there's no money to do. There is no money. The resources are really tight, yet we're expected to deliver the earth. So we've got to be clever.
Yeah. That's exactly the point. I think there are two separate things that we need to think of. The first one, it is that obviously all of us would benefit more from having tailored training that addresses the specific needs of your area. But we also need to think that one of the doubts that was raised across this week is that many people don't understand exactly how SafeWater works as a whole, so basically see the big picture. And that is extremely important for working across work packets, which it is a concept that we need, but in practice it is not actually effective. So I think you should be thinking about these two things of, okay, yes, we need tailored training for specific areas, how we can do that within the resources and time we have. We have two
more training workshops.
Two more training workshops that were initially forecasted in our program and our budget, and we have a limited amount of money to bring and send people and select who is going to take part, or for you to tell us exactly if you want to take part or not. So that is why we need to be extremely strategic for the upcoming exercises. So the feedback is extremely important for us to try to work on that.
Luis, do you want to share? No? Okay.
Patrick,
Nita, sorry, yes.
don't worry. In my point of view, I think the training, it's very important for us, for USP, for this week. What's very interesting, because my students know now how SafeWater works. I think it's very important because they are working in a big project. Now they know what is the activities, how the activities is important inside of the project. We need maybe think more about the next training and what is the activities inside. Only this, but it's important, yes. Yes, in my point of view, we have new knowledge, we have new aspect that you can think about for future research. It's important in my point of view, but we need to think about in the next.
If we think about the cycle of the way that the locations have been arranged, so in February we are having the annual meeting in Mexico again. So by turn would be Medellin. But if we, this is just think of what has currently happened. So it will be Medellin this time next year if we were going to do it like that. We have not agreed, we have not discussed, we have not made any decisions, but that would be, if it was going to be another big workshop, that would be the natural location that we would approach the organisations to perhaps go to. I don't know yet. I don't know, but this week, not just Monday, super busy. When we tried to develop the program, we tried not to have so much. We really tried. We wanted to give people space and time to speak, but I don't think we managed that. I don't know, do we need to have somebody to help facilitate networking? I don't know. We need to think. Everybody's been in here too long. Everybody is, I'm exhausted. I don't know about everybody else. And we still have tomorrow. So I think we need to think about how we organise. For everybody, it's a big journey. For those that host it, it's such a lot of work in advance. We need to think. And also, if it's interdisciplinary, we've really got to be careful about what material is on slides, how we present. We need to really think. When I look back at Mexico, people's comments were the most effective way to learn were these group exercises. Were this sort of way to facilitate, not what turned out to be like academic lectures, even though we tried super hard not to have it like that. It's just the way that it turned out. Absolutely, if it is your area, you should be talking about your work. no question, but it's got to be easy at the start. So everybody in interdisciplinary training should catch something from every talk. You can, of course, look at your little area in more detail for a few slides, absolutely, but that shouldn't be the way that the presentation starts. And we've got to be mindful of the audience. Again, it's this postgraduate teaching thing that I hated. The whole module is get to know your students, which I thought was horrible. I don't want to know them. But it's very important. It's very important. So, these are some of the things that we need as a consortium to think about, I think. Who is capacity building aimed at? Who do we want to benefit and develop and be and benefit from the training? What do we present? Is it not on slides? You know, do we need to totally think about a different format? No classroom? You know? Is English language, never mind discipline language, is it still a problem? Do we need translation? You know, I don't know. If it is a barrier, we need to know. If that makes sense, we need to identify the barriers so we can be more effective. I know there is an aspiration that people practice and learn their English. I know, but that shouldn't stop people learning and participating. So we need to just think about what the problems might be. My stupid surveys, if that's the way we collect information, need to go out in advance. Because after you hear the lecture, it changes the way you think about what you knew, if that makes sense. So this is not, I'm good, everybody's bad. That's not a good way, and maybe not the best way, as I said, to try and capture the other types of learning and of knowledge. So we need to try and think about other ways, and Mike said he'll help to do the social sciencey bit. And anybody's opinion, anybody's thoughts are totally welcome, because what I now understand about TD is it's all of this. It's all of, we don't tell anybody we do or learn from. We don't. So how would the funders know if we don't tell them? How would any other project know that this is difficult if we don't develop some sort of way to share that information?
I don't want to be but I think, you know, you're talking about training, official capacity building, like physically delivering talks or events or activities in group, but maybe we can report to the funder that also capacity building is every day for everyone. It's a challenge to manage everything. For example, I'm thinking about Bill going to Mexico, working with Hector. That's not an official training activity, it's research. But at the same time, it's teaching Bill to work out of the comfort environment. It's also learning languages and many other skills that he had to work, because Kantaro is not Korean and everything. The same for everyone. Natalia, when she was with us, maybe, of course, everybody knows that. I'm just studying the obvious, but maybe there is a way to report that, to put numbers.
So I ask and will ask people who have traveled to report on their technical, social, and general experience. I haven't done it yet.
But even I think
that's the only way we can, and that absolutely is part of Work Package 6.
This is what I'm saying.
Absolute. That's where the money came from. That's the purpose of the travel.
Even for people working at managing level, like Lida or me, what is the capacity building? We are also learning all the time. It's not because we are at a different level or higher level. We are learning a lot. To listen, to work. It's very difficult environment for us. It's multilingual meetings, it's time management, it's very challenging, so we can measure also our...
And this is how we do TD in the project. But as a non-social scientist, perhaps same with you, I don't know how to gather that, so we have to collaborate, we have to work out a way in which we can express all that, record that, learn from it, and share what was best practice. That's the purpose of capacity building, or one way that we can try to do that. And this is just some other nonsense from my head, I guess. For the future training workshops, maybe we need to change what we do. I don't know. We need to work together and decide what will we do. Yes, we love our technical things, I know that. And that's our probably main input or goal for the project. We want to do our discipline. But we also need this generic interdisciplinary. And we've got to find a balance. We've got to find a balance that suits all levels and everybody in the consortium. We need to think about who should attend. And as I mentioned, this big group, I don't know, how do we deliver? We can't change the project. Yes, there is budget for 2 more, supposed to be big meetings, but we need to speak what's going to be best. Should we have 4 small? I don't know. We need to discuss about the best format. And again, we need to capture how and why we made the change. And did it have any effect? Was it just as useful or as useless? We need to try to do that. Mike? That's my thoughts. William?
I think even the badge, all. So if you think about MS2, all Colombia, Brazil, and Mexico all have FAS now. So for the next one, 2 slides and then just go in the lab, do serial dilutions and grow FAS one day and then look at it the next and see it's there. That's more effective than, you know, talking for half an hour, 45 minutes and showing a video.
Only for your technical, but yes, there are other ways to deliver.
Yeah. But
You're on a technical rant already? About
no, I
something
didn't
very
mean that. No, I just meant, you know, that's a nice way of doing it. And the same for the MinION. If Hector has MinION, you know, in March, then real-time MinION and just seeing the green pixels running. That's, again.
But through the software that we have to do the training, you can show that to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
If that makes sense, and that might be nice for some of the non-academic or the non-scientists to see the day in the life of the lab. It's just like your little webcam sits in the corner and it streams live, and we have somebody that talks about what's going on. I think that some of those, it sounds maybe a bit wacky, but it's really interesting to see. It's bloody hard. Microbiology is hard. It's long. It takes huge amounts of effort, and you get, well, contamination. It doesn't work. It's quite a. I don't mean the social science area is not difficult, but I think if we could appreciate the huge amount of time and effort, that would help. That would be good. So we can do all that, the stuff on the web, WhatsApp videos. It's all easy to do. I think we need to be a bit smarter, maybe, and think about not work package 6 as close to the end at the bottom, but something that's important for us all to do. I said I was going to stop talking, so thanks very much.